Reconciliation here in Selma. The address is 8 Mulberry Road. 8 Mulberry Road. Alrighty. 8 Mulberry Road for those who want to come on out. We got brothers and sisters coming from Mississippi, New Orleans, from around the Deep South. And I will apologize to the brothers and sisters of Alabama because I don't spend a lot of time here, but that's not by choice. I don't spend a lot of time here, but that's not by choice. A lot of it has to do with the fact that it's difficult to get venues in Alabama, very difficult to get venues in Alabama. And not only is it difficult to get venues in Alabama, the consciousness in the state of Alabama, and I hope I'm not speaking prematurely, but the consciousness here in the state of Alabama is not at the same level it is in other places. Okay, so I hope to spend more time in Alabama, but it's only because it's difficult to really get venues here. I was lucky to stumble across, with the blessing of God, the Center for Truth, Nonviolence, and Reconciliation. So I don't want to waste any more time. I want to do a special Black Parent Teleconference this morning. I had a lot of parents calling me with questions. So if you have a question, you can call in 857-232-0158. 857.
Hello. Please enter your 6-digit conference code.
857-232-0158.
The conference is not started. We will not connect you to your call. You are the only caller in this conference. Please wait.
Okay, I'm going to hang up because they have my voice sounding very distorted. 857-232-0158. We're going to try this again. Atlanta, Georgia.
Please enter your 6-digit conference code.
Atlanta, Georgia, you're up next.
The conference has not started. If you are the host, please enter your 4-digit host code to open the conference. If you are not the host, please press the star key to connect to the conference and wait.
Wait a sec. Let me do this another way. Let me see. Selma. Copy. Facebook. 1 second, Facebook. I'm coming right back to you. Delete. Okay. So, Atlanta, you're up next Sunday, June 2nd. Atlanta, you are up next Sunday, June 2nd. Okay. Let's see. 334-526-4539. 334-526. 334-526. Yeah. 334. Come on. 4539. One minute, brothers and sisters. Come on, bro. Stop calling my phone, Julius. I'm trying to do something, brother. This ain't the time to be calling. All right. Try to get this right. Okay. I think we're good on Facebook and Instagram. So let me call back in. All right.
Hello. Please enter your 6-digit conference code. Welcome to free conference calling. The conference has not started. If you are the host, please enter your 4-digit host code to open the conference. If you are not the host, please press the star key to connect to the conference and wait. We will now connect you to your call. You are the only caller in this conference. Please wait. The host has joined the conference.
All right. Black parents, we are live as promised, the Black Parent Teleconference. If you got a question, you can call in 857-232-0158. We're dealing with the children only. We're dealing with the children only. We're dealing with the children only. 857-232-0158. The access code is 870-864-POUND. The access code is 870-864-POUND. Somebody chimed in. Are you just listening or do you have a question? The brother or sister that's on the line, did you have a question or you just listening?
Just get here.
Okay, no problem, no problem. So again, any questions, you can go ahead and call in at this time. 857-232-0158. Parents out there, school year is coming to an end. It's over for some of you already. And while we're waiting for some parents to chime in, I'll just make a couple of announcements. Atlanta, Georgia, I will be there next Sunday in Atlanta at the Omanola Griot Afrocentric Museum. That's at 337 Dargan Road in Atlanta. 337 Dargan Road in Atlanta. 337 Dargan Road in Atlanta. 4 p.m. in Atlanta next Sunday, June the 2nd. Get your tickets at drumarjohnson.com for my Atlanta brothers and sisters. The tickets are going quickly. Make sure you get yours before it's too late. Children are free. 17 and under free. 65 and older free. Atlanta, June 2nd. Then I have the NIBPA training, National Independent Black Parent Association training in Wilmington, Delaware. I'm hoping that all of you will come back. I'm hoping that all of you will come to get the training so you can go back to your town and help our parents save their children. It bothers me that we are so complacent in the psychoacademic Holocaust against our children. We are so complacent. We get hundreds to show up for lectures, but we only get dozens to show up for the NIBPA. So that's in Wilmington, Delaware, 20 minutes from the Philadelphia International Airport. And I'm hoping to see all of you there. Saturday and Sunday. You can register for one day. You can register for both days. You can register for one day or you can register for both days, 9 until 5. We're probably going to end at 3 on Sunday so we can head on up and enjoy some of the Odun Day Festival. Philadelphia, June 30th. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, June 30th. 29th and Ridge. For all my Philadelphia family, I'm coming on home Sunday, June 30th in Philadelphia. July 6th, Charlotte, North Carolina. First time in 4 years for Charlotte. Looking forward to it. Hempstead, New York, Long Island on July the 14th. And then we're off to Africa. Then we come on back. We keep on going with Jacksonville, Florida on August the 30th. Orlando, August the 31st. Tulsa, November 2nd. Oklahoma City, November 3rd, so forth and so on. Africa trip. The deadline for the Africa trip is June the 1st, which is Friday. If you're going with me to Africa, you must make your deposit by Friday. If you're coming to the NIBPA conference, you need to register, purchase your ticket online by Friday. If you're sending me music for the shockumentary, the deadline is June the 1st. Shockumentary deadline, June the 1st. Africa trip deadline, June the 1st. And NIBPA training registration is going to be June the 1st. Don't wait till the last minute, because it will not happen for you. Okay, with that being said, any questions on the call this morning?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Where you calling from?
I'm calling from Arkansas.
Arkansas. What's your question, black man? Did you have a question, sir? No question. Okay. So again, we are on the line. I don't anticipate going more than an hour. If I don't get any parents to call in, then we'll probably end a little sooner. Okay. Make sure that you continue to. Yes, I can. Do you have a question? If you have a question, you can ask it. I asked that earlier. Do you have a question, sir?
Yes, I would absolutely.
Go right ahead.
If you have so let's say my son suffers from, he's very creative, right? But he goes turned over to a depression all the time. How do you prevent, or how do you get him out of that?
Okay, well, there's two.
Medicating him.
Okay, well, first of all, let us be very, very clear. Medication is not going to get him out of that. So let's just be clear about that. Medication does not reverse any mental illnesses. There is no medication that has ever reversed a mental illness in history. The purpose of medication is to suppress the symptoms of mental illness. There's not a single medication in world history that has ever reversed a mental illness. The medicine suppresses the symptoms, which means it disrupts normal brain activity to bring about symptom reduction. But because we're dealing with your son, I want you to be very clear that any drug you give him, psychiatric med, okay, is going to put him at risk for very serious, long-lasting physical and psychological side effects. So you're talking about depression. Right, but hold on one second. You're talking about depression. That's Prozac, that's Zoloft most of the time. Those two drugs were not designed to be... That, yes, sir, brother. That's a homosexual by the name of Gerald Palmer out of St. Louis. He calls to disrupt all my calls. So what you can do, black man, is call my cell phone directly. You have my number?
Yeah.
Do you have my 215 number?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, call that. Well, wait a minute. It sounded like the noise might have went down. Let's see. But that's a homosexual out of St. Louis, Gerald Palmer. He disrupts all of my calls because I don't support sodomy. But anyhow, as I was saying, with Prozac and with Zoloft, they will kill your son's brain cells. They will affect his ability to have children. Those drugs can cause schizophrenia, psychosis, tic disorders. It can worsen his depression. Suicidal thoughts it can cause, homicidal thoughts it can cause, organ failure. You really don't want drugs for your son. You don't want to go down that road.
And I agree with that, and I was never given that. But is there an alternative?
But I got a question though. I have a question because I don't have all the information. Okay, your son is gifted, he's talented, he's artistic, whatever the case may be. Why does that have a relationship to depression? Like, help me understand why you feel your son is depressed, because being creative doesn't make you depressed. So where's the depression coming from?
No, I didn't say that. I'm saying like he just goes, he either really motivated or he's super down, right?
Well, he may not be getting challenged enough in school. You see.
Well, the only reason why I link the creativity to the depression because he's more, every time he's down, even though he's down, he's more philosophical, he's more creative when he's down.
But why is he getting down is the question. That's what we're dealing with. We don't want symptoms, we want causes. Why is he getting depressed? Or why do you feel he's getting depressed? Because he's not being challenged in school? He's not allowed to develop his artistic ability? Like, what is causing the depression? Is it family issues? Is it bullying? Is he socially alienated? A lot of times our high achieving children can sometimes be a little eccentric, which can lead to social alienation. Why do you think he's depressed? Like, why does the depression exist? We got to know the cause in order to solve. No solutions without causes.
Maybe social alienation, maybe low self-esteem.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Oh, possibly. Now, if he's socially alienated, why is he socially alienated? Like, what do you think? Is he not athletic? He not masculine enough? Like, or is he just a loner?
Too masculine.
He's very masculine. Okay.
He is a loner. He is a loner.
Is he a loner by choice, though? Is he a loner by choice?
No, not sure.
I'm not sure. It's going to be tough for me to isolate that because without having met your son, I'm kind of just shooting at the stars right now. But if you want, though, black man, get in contact with me sometime this week, and maybe we could set up a call where I can actually talk to your son for a little bit and try to see what's going on.
You have an email too, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The email is drumar@yahoo. drumar. Text my cell and I will text you the email. That's all. Text me for the email.
Wait. I can't hear you.
Text my cell and I will text you the email. You have my cell number, right? 215-989?
Yeah.
Text that and I will text you the email. But the email is my name, Dr. Umar Johnson at yahoo.com. Yes, sir. No problem, brother. And good luck with that. We're going to take care of it. All right. Peace and love, family. This is the Black Parent Teleconference. This is the Prince of Pan-Africanism. 857-232-0158. 857-232-0158. Access code is 870-864-POUND. 870-864-POUND. Do we have another question on the line? Yes. Okay, one at a time. Stop. One at a time. Go ahead, black man. Where you calling from?
My name is Frank Perry. I'm calling from Newark, New Jersey.
Newark, New Jersey. Shout out to Jersey. I will be up in Harlem, New York on June the 14th. They're dedicating a street to the late, great doctor, Pan-Africanist, Egyptologist, Dr. Yusuf bin Yakinen on Friday, June the 14th, 12:30 to 2:30. Everybody is invited. Come out and show love for probably the greatest African historian of the modern era. But go right ahead with your question, black man.
Yes, brother. So I've been battling the school system, judicial system since last year, where they've been trying to find any way to backdoor classify my child. Now
say that again. You said backdoor do what to the child? I'm sorry, brother. Do what to the child?
They try to do a backdoor classification, like give my IEP or something like that, which he doesn't need.
Okay. Which is also impossible unless you sign permission for the evaluation.
Brother, I pay attention. I'm fully aware. I've been fighting and I will continue to fight for my child. I will die for my son.
Yes, sir.
So my question is, the judicial system, when I file a charge, they refuse to take the charge. So I just had a recent episode where he got into a fight at school. Some boy carried hit. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so the boy walked up to him and hit him. My son hits the boy back. So they allow a parent or a stand-by who shouldn't have even been on school property. So when the lady tried to break up the fight, she assaulted my child's mattress, stole chain off, told him shit with his ass, picked him up, carried him to the office. So they didn't make me aware of any of this. I had to find out from my son when I picked him up. So I tried to file charges, right? They sent me to deposition, what is it, probable cause hearing when I filed the charges. They didn't allow the charges, but any charges that they had put on me, they always try to persecute. So I got a school, and then they said he's a felon. They put him on a 40-day evaluation, but gave him no services. I had to go one-on-one with the teacher to make sure that he got those services at extra help. So when they putting wagons around the powers that be, like, what can a parent do? They try to take all our power away.
Okay.
I got HRPs. Wait, I got one more thing. You think I got HRPs, nigga?
Whoa. What was that?
What was that?
I don't know. Sound like somebody, there might be somebody trolling on the call, brother. You know, I got a lot of these sodomites.
That's okay, brother, but
Go ahead.
Let's stay on course.
Yes, sir.
So I got HRBs then from last year, right, that they didn't formally give me a hearing for, right?
Okay.
So that becomes federal.
Mm-hmm.
Am I wrong? Am I right or wrong?
It depends. It all depends. Everything depends. But let me go back. You said they gave him a 45-day placement. Your son already has an IEP?
No, he doesn't have any qualifications. My son he's good. He's
Okay.
right on his level.
And what grade is he in?
He's in the 5th grade.
Okay.
Okay. Go get it from on the street.
All right, brother Umar, I can't hear you. There's something going on in this background.
Nah, that's intentional, brother. That's intentional. That's the sodomy movement. They try to disrupt all my calls, brother.
Oh, wow.
Yes, sir. There's a group of sodomites. They troll all my black parent teleconferences.
Go back now because you fucking monkey.
Yeah, that's the sodomites. But what I'm gonna do is you can dial me back straight on my cell number. Wait, you ain't got this number.
Brother, because they're truly trying to deny me to be enlightened by the brother.
Yeah,
And that's okay.
got
I'm
you.
gonna press on. What's your number, brother Umar?
It's 215.
215-989-9858.
Exactly.
989?
9858.
9858. So I got 989-9858. 215.
Exactly. Give me about 5 minutes because I need to switch. I need to switch this. I need to switch this iPad
Okay,
with
so
the.
this is what you can do, brother Umar. You can answer I'm gonna hang up. You can answer my question. I'll follow you on the ground, and then I'll call you personally, and then you can be in.
Okay. We'll wrap then, black man. All right. Peace. Okay. Brothers and sisters, I apologize for that. Some unenlightened members of our race decided to disrupt the conversation that we have to help black parents. That's how low we have gotten as a people, that we will even disrupt a parent's ability to help their child. With that being said, what do I want to do now? I think I want to switch back. This is what I'm going to do. Facebook, I'm going to hang up with you. I'm going to hang up on Facebook and I'm going to go straight to Instagram because I need to free up that phone. I need to free up the phone that's currently on Facebook. And then what you guys can do is call me directly at 215-989-9858. 215-989-9858. Call me directly, and then I can answer your questions that way. Okay, so go over to Instagram at Dr. Umar Johnson so I can free up this line for the direct calls. All right, Facebook, Instagram, I'm going to keep you on. One love. Okay, so if you have a question, dial me direct, 215-989-9858. If you have a question, dial me direct, 215-989-9858. Somebody wants to tap in? Let's tap in. Okay, unable to join. Instagram, you can tap in if you have a question on Instagram. You can tap in. Dr. Umar Johnson speaking.
Yeah. Is this Blackbird call in?
Yes, it is, sir.
Okay. Well, I was on Facebook, but something happened.
Yes, sir. I had to hang up the line because the sodomites, brother, the black LBGTs, they do a lot of trolling of my work, and they disrupted the call by playing loud music. But go right ahead with your question, brother. Go right ahead with your question.
Yeah, my son is he's 9 years old. He's doing real good in school.
Yes.
But we having some problems at home. I talked to my wife about it. She don't want to say too much, but he don't want to clean up behind himself.
Okay.
His room, bathroom, and she kind of pacifies for him a lot. You know, he keep his room messy. He go to the bathroom. He don't want to clean up behind himself. And all for some reason, he just feel like he don't have to clean up behind himself. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I'm trying to put my foot down as a father, but the mother keep pacifying. So what would man advice you can give me to help him understand that he need to clean up?
Well, it's all about consequences and rewards. You know, whatever the problem is, it's about consequences and rewards. What are the consequences in the home? What are the rewards in the home? If a child does something they shouldn't do, there should be a consequence. And if they do what they're supposed to do after, you know, a certain amount of time, a week or 2 weeks, you know, there should be a reward. So it's about you and the mother coming up with a system of consequences and rewards, regardless of what the issue is.
Okay. And so do you have any type of consequences that you would recommend?
No, you have to, that's specific to the child. Every child is different. Parents have to come up with the consequences. There are no general consequences for children to be effective. You know, one kid, you know, they might enjoy going outside. So consequence, they might lose that privilege. Another kid, they might enjoy being up under their mother all day. Then you might have to disrupt that. You know, it's specific to the child because every child has their own personality. And so you have to tie into what it is they like.
Okay. Do you believe I'm wrong for making him want to clean up?
Nah, not at all, brother. I'm going to move on to another caller because we already dealt with
it.
Yet? Peace and love, family. You live with Dr. Umar Johnson. What's your name?
Tony.
Peace and love, sister. Where you calling from?
Indianapolis, Indiana.
Indianapolis, Indiana. Go right ahead with your question, Queen.
Well, I do have a question about children, but I want to know if you're going to make it to, like, I go on that town soon.
Well, I was in Dayton, Ohio about 3 weeks ago, which is, I guess, 90 minutes from Indianapolis. But I'm also working on Evansville, Indiana right now. It looks like I'll be coming to Evansville. We're working on that. So hopefully I'll have a venue within the next 2 or 3 weeks. I think Indianapolis is how far from Evansville, Indiana?
About an hour and a half, roughly.
Okay. So yeah, I'm working on that right now. And so once I had that information, I'll make sure I put that out there.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Sure.
I have two sets of children. I have adult children, and then I started over. And I'm currently noticing the new way that things are being done, or I should say the old way. What's the difference in your professional opinion, or I should say, I'm big on homeschooling now because I saw certain things that happen with the older children. Mm-hmm. But I want to know what is the biggest difference, because when I'm sitting at the kitchen table doing lessons planning, I feel like it's pretty the same thing, with the exception is I'm keeping them in the house.
What grade are these homeschool children?
I have a kindergarten and a fourth grader.
Kindergarten and fourth grade. So those are good grades for homeschool. And give me your question again. What's your challenge?
Like I'm trying to, okay, in my mind, I'm trying to do the right thing. And when I say the right thing, I'm trying to keep them away from all this foolishness we always see on TV, racism, being picked on. I have two boys. Our young get treated fairly in the school system.
them. But at the same time, I'm noticing nothing really is changing. Like, I thought there would be a great, so I'm homeschooling, so I'm going to produce a bunch of geniuses, and the behaviors are still the same. They're average students. So I'm trying to figure out, is there really a big difference, or is it just more of a family dynamic to it? I don't know.
Okay. I'm still a little off on that, on the question. So you're saying, give me that one more time, Queen. I'm sorry. Give me that one more.
Basically, what I'm asking is, what are your views on school versus homeschool, pretty much?
Okay, I got you. It really depends on the parent. It really depends on the homeschool. It really depends on the school. So, for example, if you have a child in a certain school and then there's a parent who wants to homeschool, the only way I can know which is better for that child is to actually see both options. In other words, in some situations, I would probably prefer the school. In other situations, I would probably prefer to homeschool. It all comes down to quality. It all comes down to quality. So as a parent, 5 things you want to consider if you're homeschooling. And of course, because you have a kindergartner and a 4th grader, I think you're in a good place to homeschool. Homeschooling gets tricky the older the kids get, for social reasons and for academic reasons. Because obviously when you get to high school, you're talking calculus and, physics and courses that not necessarily every parent will be astute in being able to teach. So once you get into high school, you got to probably call on other teachers to help you academically to teach the child. But in the grades where you are, it's perfect, but you got to be organized. You cannot homeschool your child if you're not organized. That's number 1. Number 2, okay, you have to create an academic calendar and curriculum. Calendar and curriculum, you can't have one without the other, because you can have all the greatest things you want to teach your kindergartner, but now you got to put that on the calendar to make sure they actually get it taught. In other words, you have a lot of great curriculums out here, right? Great curriculums. They don't mean anything if you never get through the information. And speaking as a former school principal, I can tell you, curriculum means nothing without good teachers. And the curriculum means nothing without a good academic calendar, because you have to, create a timeline to teach all of that, which means you have to decide if your homeschool is going to follow the regular public school calendar. Is it going to be a August to May, September to June calendar? Or are you going to homeschool year round, where your children simply take, maybe 4 to 6 2-week breaks throughout the year? So come up with your calendar and your curriculum. Also, you need to develop a support network of people, retired teachers, current teachers, school psychologists, who can help you when necessary if you're struggling. Another reason why you want those teachers and school psychologists around, so they can test your child occasionally to see if you're doing a good job. I guess one of my 2 biggest criticisms of homeschool, 3 biggest criticisms of homeschool. My number 1 biggest criticism of homeschool is parents without patience. Parents without patience. No parent who doesn't have patience with their child should be homeschooling their child. If you don't have patience, you should not be teaching your child. And too often, we expect our children to be perfect. So you have to be patient. If you're not patient, you shouldn't be homeschooling your own children. So that's one of my big issues, because I've seen a lot of Black parents destroy the self-esteem of their babies. I've seen a lot of Black parents destroy the self-esteem of their babies without being patient. Number 2, homeschool parents are not supervised, and their children are rarely evaluated. Homeschool parents are not supervised, and their children are rarely evaluated. So, for example, when I was principal, which I'll be again soon with the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy, okay, when I was principal, my job was to do what? Make sure the teachers were teaching, was to evaluate them, to help improve them. But guess what? If you're a homeschool parent, you don't have a principal in that school. You see, so that parent has to be humble enough to want someone to come in and evaluate the quality of work that they're doing. Okay, so that's why you want that team to say, listen, your reading program sucks or the way you're teaching it sucks. So, you know, that supervision is important. Not having patience is important. And then the third is the discipline. The discipline. You got to have the discipline to teach that child every day. You got to have the discipline to shut off your cell phone, stop answering the door, turn off the TV, you know, stop being distracted with everything else you're doing, and focus in and teach that child. Discipline is a big problem with homeschool parents. I know so many parents who have homeschooled their kids and they've done terrible jobs because, you know, homeschool is from 8 to 12, 4 hours, and then 12 o'clock comes and they say, okay, we're done for the day. But you didn't do anything. You spent 2 hours of the 4 hours on the phone. You spent another 30 minutes eating. You spent another 20 minutes outside talking to the neighbor. You spent another, 20 minutes breastfeeding the infant baby. You understand? So you really didn't teach at all. So those are the three biggest things, Queen, that you're going to be challenged with. You know, make sure you stay focused, organized, disciplined, protect and respect your homeschool protocol process. Respect the process. You have to respect the process. Number two, be patient with your children. And if you don't have patience for your children, find another teacher who can homeschool the child for you. Find another teacher who can homeschool the child for you. And then the third thing, get some supervision and support. And I'll always be here for you. You know, you can always call on Dr. Umar as a support. I do a lot of supporting of homeschool parents. I help them evaluate the process and quality of their instruction. So you have me if you have no one else. But, just make sure you got your calendar, make sure you got your curriculum, make sure you download state grade level standards for each grade, okay? You don't have to go off the state standards, but I want you to know what they are so that you can surpass them. You don't have to go off the state standards, but I want you to know what they are so that you can surpass them. Did that make any sense to you, Queen? Do you have my cell number in case you need to reach me in the future?
The 215 number?
Yes, ma'am.
I do.
Okay. And no problem. Thank you. And I should have that information for you for Indianapolis soon. Text me your name and Indy and remind me you was on the call so I could store you on my phone. So once I get that information for Evansville, I can text you a flyer.
I will do that.
All right, goddess. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace and love, Black family. This is Dr. Umar Johnson. With whom am I speaking? They hung up. Okay. Selma, Alabama, I am here. Selma, Alabama, I am here. Dr. Umar Johnson is in Selma speaking today, 2 o'clock and 7 o'clock at the... Peace and love. This is Dr. Umar Johnson. Who am I speaking with? Hello? Peace and love. This is Dr. Umar Johnson. Who am I speaking with? Say again. I did not hear you, brother.
My name is Charles Vincent.
Where you calling from, Brother Charles?
I have a...
Where you calling from, good brother? Tell me where you calling from.
I'm calling from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Minneapolis, Minnesota. Go right ahead.
Yes. So I have a 4-year-old daughter.
Yes, sir.
Which I have during the summertime. And her mom have her, like the rest of it. And my question was, they kind of dived into your previous comment about homeschooling.
Yes, sir.
So I was kind of debating on whether to take it to preschool, daycare, or should I do it myself?
Okay.
In terms of,
I got you. Should you send your 4-year-old daughter to preschool or should you homeschool her? Okay. That's a tough decision. Only you can answer that question, but I do want to say this though. It's a tough call because on the one hand, if you homeschool your preschooler, she's totally protected. You know what she's getting. You control the atmosphere. You control the information. Okay. But on the other side, children that young do need to learn how to start functioning without their parents being around. They need to learn how to start building relationships with other children. It doesn't mean she can't do that later. Okay? But it doesn't hurt to get her started now. Because if you homeschool her, and she's never been to preschool, she still has to develop and process what we call separation anxiety. Every child goes through a stage of separation anxiety when they start going to preschool. Okay? That, you know, getting used to not being around your parent for 8 or 9 hours a day. And your daughter is going to have to learn that separation anxiety. And the question becomes, do you want to teach that now, or do you want to put it off?
Yeah, that's the biggest question I'm having myself about it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's one of the why I called you.
Okay. You can't go wrong. You really can't go wrong. But again, my biggest issue is how clingy. Like, if she's already went through separation anxiety, where you like, she did preschool from 3 to 4, she was fine, then you don't even have to worry about it because she didn't already been through that. But if she hasn't been through it yet, then it becomes a little bit of a concern because we don't want to have to go through that when she's in kindergarten. We don't want them going. You ever see the kids who go to kindergarten and they go through it in kindergarten? They're like 6 years old and they're flipping out because they've never been separated from their mother or father until kindergarten. That can be very, very traumatic.
She's been at daycare whenever she's with her mom. Her mom lives in Seattle. You know what I'm saying? It's just whenever she's with me, I feel like I want to do things a little bit different. Keep her in the daycare. I kind of want to, you know what I'm saying, like homeschool her, at least to pre-K and kindergarten. You know what I mean? In terms of first grade and all that, you know what I'm saying, I'll find the right food for that.
Okay.
But, she goes to daycare whenever she's with her mom and stuff. But I don't think she has you know what I'm saying, like, in terms of the separation anxiety thing.
Okay, so
she's super clingy to her mom, though. That's the thing.
Okay.
She always want to FaceTime her mom. I mean, which is understandable. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah.
Okay.
But